Hey Deckers, we got access to the Prince of Persia The Lost Crown and it's working fantastically well on the Steam Deck. Now this is only available on the Ubisoft Connect store right now, but we have a guide to how to install this on the channel. Just look at our easy launcher installs guide in the description below. As you can see, we get a great 80 to 120 frames per second. We are connected to a 144 Hz capable monitor, so it is going to see over 90 FPS on the Steam Deck OLED, but for the most part it will sit around the 80 mark with high graphics and SMAA enabled, which is a fantastic way to play this game and get all of the fantastic effects as well. You could cap this at 60, and obviously if you're on the LCD you're going to be able to run it at high settings on the LCD Steam Deck just fine. And you do need to have the Ubisoft Connect launcher running in the background as well. However, this has got to be one of the best optimized Ubisoft Connect games that I've seen, and it does also support offline, which I'll show in just a little while. But even in the boss fights with those high graphic settings, it does still sit around the 80 mark. Under a couple of the cutscenes, it does dip occasionally down into the 60s, but on the LCD Steam Deck, you're going to get a solid 60 frames per second all of the way through. Unfortunately, it is 720, there is no 800p version, so you will have the black bars top and bottom, which is extremely unfortunate considering how well this runs, but also the difficulty curve does take a little bit of getting used to. Even in some of the later levels where you start unlocking more of the abilities and the environments get a little bit more vibrant, we still hold around 80 frames per second on the Steam Deck OLED. Obviously you could drop this down to medium if you want to get a solid 90, but it's really not needed. Now, as I'm using the Ubisoft Connect launcher, I did run this with the Proton GE825, but it also runs fine under experimental. I'm just using the gamepad with joystick default controller mapping, which does mean you need to use the Steam shortcut and trackpad to navigate the launcher initially, but as soon as you select a game, you can just go back to using the controller. So in a surprise, it did actually advertise that this has offline support. You can see if I turn Wi-Fi off, I can launch the launcher offline as well, as long as I say to go into the offline mode and you get the offline error message at the top, but I can run the game fully. Obviously once you're in game you won't be able to access any cloud saves, and it does have the option to have one cloud save, but you do have to manually upload and retrieve this when you want to. So it's not an automatic cloud save unfortunately in the Ubisoft Connect launcher, but at least it does have that option. If you do want to upload from one device and pick it up on another, you just have to remember to transfer the save first. At least you have the 3 save slots, so if you do forget, you won't be able to completely trash your game. Game time is around 20 to 25 hours on the main path on this, with 9 main bosses and over 65 unique enemies with 13 biomes. There's also 6 time powers and 9 side quests to keep you entertained. But all in all, otherwise it's just another platformer with a Prince of Persia theme. Let us know in the comments below if you're going to be diving into this one, and a huge thanks to Ubisoft for giving us early access so we can test this one out ahead of its official launch on the 18th of January. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.